Hey everybody, it is Brandon Foster, the author of Confident AF, Unleash Your Inner Badass, and the confidence coach of badass business owners who are ready to uplevel their results, their thinking, and their business. Today, I have the amazing Johanna with me today, who's going to be sharing her experience working with me. Why did you start, Boo, and just tell everybody about why you felt like you wanted to have that personalized coaching experience with me?
Okay, so I am a careers on vacation graduate, which was a huge step forward with starting my own travel agency, which is Echoing Magic Travel. And wow, talk about like the right place to start. It was huge. But as I was going through the class, I just felt like, the mentality stuff is great, but I need that one-on-one. I'm the type of person I like to call it Johanna splaining. I need that verbal talking. We've talked about that when we've talked, Brandon, that Johanna splain. I need that constant communication, and having that one-on-one has always been important to me, no matter what I've been doing. So it just seemed like, well, of course I want to go do this. And there are things that I knew starting out were going to just jumpstart me, like you say, quantum leap, jumpstart, get me going so much further, so much faster from the right foundation. And wow, absolutely the right decision.
I love that. I think on my website it says bigger changes faster, I think is what it says. What were the challenges that you came into that one-on-one experience with me that you're like, this is what I want Brandon's perspective on. This is where I want him to help me with.
Absolutely. So I think timeline was a big one.
Mm.
I think timeline was a big one for me, which just was it comes right back to a lot of the core who I am with my faith, that you just spoke so much grace into me, saying, do not limit God, get the action, get going, trust he's going to get you there, but then leave the results up to him. His timing is what's going to get you to the finish line. And that action with acceptance maybe
Mm.
was just game changer for my mentality. It just gave me the freedom to let go of the results, give those back to God, and still take the action, knowing I'm going to see the results when it's the right time. That was huge.
I love that. And for someone who this was your first time working with me one-on-one, what was that like compared to listening to my podcast or, having a pre-recorded video that was filmed years ago? What was that experience like actually having that one-on-one time?
It was so crazy. Our first conversation, I didn't know what to expect,
Mm.
and then you came on to our first call, Brandon, and I don't know how to explain it other than this. You were there on purpose for me. It was obvious based on how you were talking to me, the tone of your voice, the notes you were taking. I was your priority, and not just to be a listening ear, but to get me the results, to get to the root. What is it that you need, Johanna? Because I'm here for you. I wasn't just another member of a class. You took that personalization to a whole different level. And that just blew my mind, how intentionally you were there for me. Just meant more than I can say on here.
I love that. Um, Now I'm thinking about how we had our little inside joke, which was you, Jimmy, and Jesus.
Yes. Yes, we did. Every
uh,
call.
from that first session. What was it like to have personalized, actionable insights on how to think differently for your business? Because I think one of the things that people maybe don't realize is that when I have a one-on-one call, I like to give you all notes, and then I send
Yeah.
these notes to you. And I sometimes I call it homework, but it's really more about integrating new ways of thinking that unlocks new action inside of your business. Because would you, you know, practical action is important, you know what I mean? And how would you say that personalization piece, that homework or those notes, what did that empower you to do actually inside of your business?
It was so you I don't know the right word other than just the uniqueness of this, from my previous job history, having one-on-one conversations with people. This was just so unique in that I was able to go back to those notes more times I think than you even realize I was doing on a day-to-day, week by week. And it was moments that I could just, like a note in your phone, when you write those things down that you need that reminder to go back. It was so great. I could go back on our notes when something was triggering a certain thought or action that I normally was taking, and I was trying to, I call it my hamster wheel in my brain, when I would get
Yeah.
on something and I couldn't get off it. And there was something, a little something in those notes that I could go back, rather than, okay, I got to go back and rewatch a whole or listen to a whole podcast or find the spot in there. Having
Mm.
that one on one, it was specific to the stuff we talked about that I was going through. So I could go back in those trigger moments and find it. You gave me a specific verse that dialed into my desire to plan, that I like to plan. And you said, go for it. Here's the verse. Use this, boo. And I just went for it. And it was the verse I could go back to so many times when I needed that confirmation. Nope, keep going, be Johanna and get it done. And that was amazing.
I love that. What was the verse?
It was Habakkuk. It's on my phone. Hang on. Pause. Hang on. I got it right here. Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he who runs may read it. Write it down. Get the
Oh, I
plan
love
going.
that. Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Full
Take the action.
disclosure. Full disclosure. I actually heard that verse first by oh, what's his name? Famous comedian. And it's escaping my mind, but Steve Harvey. That's who it is. Steve
Okay.
Harvey. Yeah. Okay. So that's amazing. And you also get recordings of the one-on-one.
Yes.
Did you ever go back and listen to any of those, just out of curiosity?
Yes. Yes, I did. And I've got them like queued up, because I'm like, not only do I get this in the moment, because as much as I like to explain, like I said, Johanna explaining and all the crazy words that just da 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 da, I can forget. And having those queued up, again, just like that note is right there, being able to, oh, I know we said that. What did we say? Oh, I can just go right back and listen to it. That resource that I'm always going to have, that in and of itself is a huge value out of doing the one-on-ones, because I can go back to that personalization. Like I said, that see that look on your face that I am the priority, you're there for me, and the confidence that gives someone as a business owner that somebody's
Yeah.
in their corner, that goes so far.
I love it. And then in terms of how the mindset pieces and what we talked about and those discussions and the takeaways and the notes and all that, how did that actually result in practical action inside of your business? And what has been the fruit so far of that?
Absolutely. So I remember one of our first things that I told you was I was scared to death to do anything live on Facebook. That was like my one thing. I could do the reels or pre-record stuff, but going live in front of people just was a trigger, like, block for me. And I remember the day that I did my first Facebook live, and it was very short, it was quick, it wasn't a lot, but I did it. And I immediately shot you a message and said, Brandon, I did it. And that confidence, getting the feedback from you, see, you're going to see results. And after that, when we went on our family vacation, I planned it out, and I did a whole 45-minute Q&A Facebook live while we were on site at our vacation, and getting the feedback from different friends of my parents who are like, wow, I didn't realize this is all the stuff that she's doing. This is so great to know this resource is there. So I mean, the Facebook live was one very practical thing. Right. The other one fairly recently was doing my first Facebook ad. That was another one. Just those more taking it from like doing your personal social media and making that change to it. Okay, it's a business. Now, how can I utilize this for a business? You helping my brain see that it is different, but it's something you can do. It's not something to be feared. Something to just take that next step forward.
Man, this is such incredible, amazing, and powerful stuff. One of the things that I remember is you had this fear of not being able to handle clients or not being able to handle certain situations. And because of your background coming from being a firefighter and a licensed paramedic, one of the things that I love that we did together as I told you, you have that system, that framework when you're working on an emergency situation where you're not thinking because you've been trained, you know exactly what to do. You have like a checklist. And I told you, go create a checklist, boo. Go create a checklist, like an emergency checklist. So you're not worried, you're not fearful, you know exactly what to do with your clients. I don't know if there's a question. There's not really a question. That's more of a statement.
I love that memory because it's literally, I mean, we call them a lot of times, we call them protocols, you know, the protocol you follow for if this or that emergency situation comes up. And you were like, go write a protocol for all these three big, okay, there's what if this happens, the what ifs. You were like, take a what if, put a protocol to it. And I even, I even took words that we use in fire and EMS, like, you know, calling the hospital to make contact with a doctor. Okay, that's calling one of the experts that I know. That's getting some feedback from someone with a higher licensure level than me to check myself. Having the basic standards in that ABC, so I don't have to think about it in the moment when your emotions or the energy is going so crazy, your brain can't keep up with it. And it was game changer. It dialed into what I actually do, turned it back around. Hey, I've learned how to do this. I'm strong in this. I can use that in my travel agency.
I love that. And I think the reason why I wanted to share that is because one of my favorite things about working with people one-on-one is I don't try to change someone. I don't try to what I say change them. We do challenge you, right? We do want you to go to a next level, but it's more from a place of acceptance and stripping away the ideas and the beliefs that are arguing against yourself. And I really love that because for me, that was a special moment where I felt like God had given me a great way in kind of to take something that you were already very comfortable with and very confident in, and you could very easily apply it to your new business to great success.
Oh, hands down, it was absolutely that God moment. It was just icing on the cake. It was amazing.
So what would you say to someone who is thinking about working with me one-on-one, but is just not sure? If maybe they're not sure if they want to trust me. Maybe they're not sure about the investment. I mean, who knows? It could be a lot of different reasons.
Right.
What would you say to someone who's considering or thinking about it?
If you are wondering, just the basic question, is it worth it? What am I going to be at the end of it? Am I going to be, you cannot fathom how much deeper of knowing yourself and why you're thinking the way you are that you're going to be after they do one-on-ones with you, Brandon. After you talk to Brandon, I'm always been very big on wanting to be my authentic self. It's a big thing we hear a lot nowadays, is true to who you are, be your authentic self. But doing the one-on-ones, you were like, find who your authentic self is in who God made you to be, fearfully and wonderfully made. And because of that, you're strong. You can get here, and let's get you past the blocks so you can actually see who you are in that. And you want to have signed up with Brandon yesterday. That's what you want to have signed up yesterday to do your one-on-ones with Brandon.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. Is there anything else that you want to share for those that are watching?
I cannot begin to say what a blessing you are, Brandon. My my family used to always say when someone, you know, thanked you for something, oh, praise God, you know, that he gave me the ability. And you just emulate that so much. You are always giving it back to God to say, he made me this way. I'm going to give back. And the blessing that you are through that, I friend for life, mentor for life. I love you, Brandon.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it so very, very much. If you are wondering how you can start your journey working with me, I do have a brand new book, Confident AF Unleash Your Inner Badass, that you can get on Amazon. You have your copy too.
I do.
There's also the Breakthrough Blueprint, which is brand new. It's a personalized form that you fill out within 48 hours. I showcase through a little Loom video all the ways that you're holding yourself back. And then, of course, I have my incredible mastermind, Born to Slay, to help unleash your next level of badassery to make decisions as a CEO inside of your business. Thank you so much, Johanna. I appreciate you so much.
Thanks for having me, Brandon.